In a remote village in Bengal stood an abandoned house everyone called the Blue House. Locals whispered about it, saying that every midnight, a little girl could be seen standing at its window. And if anyone dared to look at her, she would smile. A cold, heart-wrenching smile. No one walked past that road after dusk. Because they knew, those who entered the Blue House never returned the same. Megla, a bold young woman and journalist from the city, came to stay at her uncle's house in the village. She was smart, curious, and didn't believe in ghosts or superstitions. When she heard the story of the Blue House, she laughed and said, "If ghosts really exist, I'll go in and prove it myself tomorrow night." Her uncle and aunt pleaded with her not to go, but Megla was stubborn. That very night, with a flashlight, a camera, and a notebook, she stepped into the Blue House. The front door creaked open by itself. A rotting smell hit her, like something had died there years ago. Scratch marks on the walls, broken furniture, a doll hanging from a ceiling corner, and a small chair by the window. Everything looked frozen in time. Megla began clicking photos one by one, but in one of the frames she noticed something. In the reflection of a cracked window pane behind her stood a little girl. She spun around, no one was there. Then came a cold breeze, a whisper from the walls, footsteps on the wooden stairs. Trembling, Megla climbed to the upper floor. One room had a shut door. From inside, a soft voice called out, Mama, you came, but you're too late." She pushed the door open and entered. In the middle of the room stood an old mirror, but Megla couldn't see her own reflection. Instead, a girl in a blood-stained white dress stared back, eyes hollow, one hand holding a torn doll. The girl spoke softly. "My name was Trina. My mother left me here alone. I cried and cried, but no one came. Now you're my mother. You're late, so you'll stay here now. Forever." Megla screamed and tried to run, but the door slammed shut behind her. The next morning, the village was in chaos. Megla hadn't returned. People searched everywhere. The police came. They even searched the Blue House. But there was no trace of her. A month later, a poor village boy was found crying outside the Blue House. In his hand was Megla's camera. Inside the camera was one final photo. A girl in white, standing at the window smiling. But it wasn't Megla. It was Trina. And Megla? Some say she still lives inside the mirror. Eyes filled with sorrow, lips sealed in silent regret. The house stood silent like a slumbering beast. Its gate creaked as she pushed it open. Inside, the air was colder, still, as if the house itself was holding its breath. She entered the living room. Furniture lay overturned. Cobwebs hung from every corner. A broken doll's head stared at her from under a table. Click. Megla took a photo. As the flash faded, she heard something. A soft giggle. Then silence. Upstairs, a door creaked open by itself. She slowly climbed the stairs, each step groaning under her feet. As she reached the landing, the hallway grew darker, colder. Her breath fogged in the air. Suddenly, the camera flashed again by itself. She looked at the screen. In the background of the last picture, she saw it. A little girl in a white dress staring directly at the lens. Megla turned. No one. And then she heard it. A child's voice, soft, broken. "Ma, you finally came." The final door at the end of the hallway was half open. Inside was a child's room, old toys, drawings on the wall, and a broken crib. In the center stood a tall mirror. But there was no reflection. Megla stood in front of it, and instead of her face, she saw the little girl. Hair messy, dress blood-stained, eyes hollow like endless wells of pain. The girl whispered, "My name is Trina. I cried for my mother, but she ran away. I was alone, trapped in the fire. No one came." Megla backed away, shivering. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I'm not your." "You are now," said Trina. "You came late, but you came. You'll stay with me forever." The door slammed shut. Megla ran to it, pounded with all her strength, but it wouldn't budge. The lights flickered. Suddenly the mirror showed not one, but two figures, Trina and Megla, standing side by side. Her own reflection trapped. The villagers noticed something strange in the days that followed. Every night at the Blue House window, two figures could now be seen. One tall, one small. A man who dared go near heard crying from inside. First a child's, then a woman's. He swore he heard someone whisper, "Why didn't you come before, Ma?" The next day, a child found Megla's camera in the garden. Inside was one final image, the window, two silhouettes, and written across the photo in tiny, childlike handwriting was one word, Ma. Epilogue. Eyes in the glass. Some say Megla is still in the mirror. Others believe she became the mother Trina had been waiting for. But one thing is certain. Every year, on the night of the fire, the window glows again. If you ever walk past the Blue House and see a girl smiling at you from the window, don't look back. Because once you see her, she sees you too. And once she sees you, she may decide you're her next mother. Forever. Performing arts moral of the story. There are places soaked in grief so deep, it births something far worse than ghosts. It creates longing that haunts forever. And sometimes, what we call ghosts, are just broken hearts, waiting for someone to finally come back. Story. Not every mystery needs to be solved. Some doors, once open, can never be shut again. And some souls search only for love. But when they don't find it, they return. Again and again. In terrifying forms.